Hey guys, it's Elizabeth with the Four Walls Podcast, and today I have Amy. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, thank you for having me, Elizabeth.
Absolutely. So, who is Amy on social media?
Oh my God. Well, my name is Amy. My username is Amy is alive. It started as a joke because my family kept asking me if I was alive or not. And so I kept saying, yes, Amy is alive. Anyways, I'm Amy from Amy is alive. I solo travel the world and I learn new hobbies around the world as a lens to discovering cultures, community, and ultimately ourselves. I run Hard But Worth It on YouTube. And right now I am calling in from the Dominican Republic in Las Terrenas, where I'm learning bachata for a month.
Woohoo! What a fun life,
It's a
but
fun,
also
you
it's
know,
so
I think
real that you're
what's funny is I feel like
sorry.
I don't know, maybe you feel this way. No. I don't know if you feel this way, but I often feel like my life is like I mean, I wouldn't use the word fun. You know what I mean? Like I feel like oftentimes it portrays itself as being fun, but I think it feels like a life like any like I wouldn't say I'm having more fun now than I did when I was living in LA. They're just different chapters, if you will.
Hmm, really
Or maybe you feel
interesting because I
differently.
feel like
Or
I don't know.
do
I
you
feel like
feel differently?
if I had to choose between a corporate office job going into my 9 to 5 in LA every day, or waking up, going swimming in the ocean, having a really good meal, sitting on the hammock and journaling. I'm really gonna choose the
Okay,
hammock and the journaling and the ocean.
okay, that's true.
I
Like
know
if
this
you
is one.
ask me, okay, yeah, let me phrase. If you asked me what I would rather be doing, going to a corporate office for my 9 to 5 or be on a hammock and chilling, I would definitely choose a hammock and chill. But I wouldn't say my overall status, like I wouldn't say I'm having more fun in life than I used to per se. I think I'm just more aligned with like myself more. I don't know if just fun
Mm,
is maybe the right word I would use. Maybe that's it. But we can dive deeper into that if that is the path
okay.
we choose to talk about for this.
Because I feel like, I mean, I just, no, because I feel like, okay, so maybe, are you like, when you were working corporate, did you still do like a bunch of side quests? Did it drain you to where you felt like, dang, I'm gonna go home and just sleep?
Well, here's the thing. I've always, I mean, did I cycle a lot? I definitely had hobbies and passions outside of my job. So like I had my job, but I had like passion projects that I was working on. I was also weightlifting and I had like a good community for that. I like had goals and I had like I was dancing as well. So I had really strong goals that I was working towards that were outside of my 9 to 5. And it actually didn't occur to me too recently that it is what a privilege it is to have a passion outside of your job. Like it has recently occurred to me that like it is actually such a privilege to be able to wake up and love something that's not a person, but like a thing that you can like put time and energy into. So I've always had that. I've always had passion. Maybe that's the right way to put it. And I think once you have passion, you never really lose sight of the fun. But right now, like the era of passion I'm in is like this travel and trying out hobbies era. So but I wouldn't say I'm having like more fun in life than I was when I was living in LA and just like working on like my dancing passions and my weightlifting passions.
Okay, so the key is to just make sure you have passions.
The key is to have passion, but that is a lot easier said than done because I remember there was a long time in my life where I didn't have any passions and I felt really, what's the word? Self-conscious about that. Like I just felt like when people ask me what do I do for
Mhm.
fun, I just like freeze because I didn't have an answer for that.
And now you do. So tell us about this 5 to 6 months of traveling that you've been doing and the passion projects that you're on.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So I maybe we'll backtrack and start where like the story begins. Last year, I quit my job in April because I decided that I wanted to one learn Spanish, or maybe let's put it this way. I had always saw myself like traveling the world and learning Spanish and being like in Latin America and just like learning things, and that always just felt like a pipe dream. And I was like, I'll do it one day when like things align, stars align. I don't know, maybe my job sent me down there. And then I was doing my Duolingo course, like my streak on the bus. And I looked out the window and I remember being like, this Duolingo thing is not gonna cut it. I'm not gonna learn Spanish like this. And I was like, I don't have a kid. I don't have a mortgage. I have a decent amount saved up. I could technically just do it now. For me, I know when I have an idea, it's going to fester, and then like I have to do it at some point. And that was one of the ideas where it just kept festering and festering and festering. And at some point, I was like, I guess I just have to actually do it. And so in April, I quit my job because I wanted to travel and learn Spanish and whatnot. And through this travel, I just learned so much about myself and how I want to live. And I realized that a lot of my life is actually pretty performative to people. And I only realized
Mm.
that it was really performative because as I was traveling, I've realized I was still being performative. And I think that really made me realize where I was like, if I'm living for other people in my hometown and then I finally get to be in a new country where I can just actually be myself and I'm still pretending to be someone I'm not, then what does that say about me? And so there's a lot of self reflection, a lot of like just figuring things out for myself before I realized, like, I know that this like solo travel thing is trying to teach me something. I'm just not getting it yet. And then when I finally one day got it, what is a little bit hard for me to explain right now, but I got it. And when I got it, I realized like I'm actually meant to be on the road. I am meant to travel for a long, long time. And I have something to say. I feel like I genuinely have something to say to the world. I want to say what I want to say. And I realized that a lot over the years, I've lost a lot of who I was as a kid. And I do believe this. I think everybody knows who they are and what they truly want. Like their inner child knows that, but society, cultures, family pressures, and whatnot get so much in the way that you lose sight of what that like inner child really wanted. And I think travel for a lot of people is the best way to figure out what that child wants. And I figured out what that was. And what that is I want to travel the world and learn hobbies and connect with people and write video essays about it. And so that is what I'm doing right now. The reason why the show is called Hard But Worth It is because hard is in parentheses, meaning that everything you want to do that is worth it is going to be hard, but at the end of the day, it is always worth it.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it. And then I want to know, like, why there are so many different, like, avenues that you could have taken this, right? Like, the food and all
Yeah,
different countries are so different, and like, music, culture, like everything. And so, why did you pick hobbies, like, out of everything that you could have picked?
I love this question. So this started off with like, I think one, I always consider myself like a hobby maxer. And I feel like that's like like in a way that I remember as a kid, like I had played a lot of sports. I did a lot of like art forms and dances and whatnot. And I could never just like stick to one, not because I would get bored of it, but because I feel like every hobby I learned teaches you something so new about yourself and about the world and how you want to approach it. And no hobby, even if I never ever meet like made it to the top, they have always taught me something. And
Mhm.
I that was just something I wanted to do. But the other thing is, I think that play is the most universal language we have in the world. I mean, like, if I don't speak the same language as someone, but we both know how to do martial arts, or we both know how to sing, or we both know how to dance, like, I can still connect with that person, and that person can still connect with me. And I think oftentimes, especially with the internet, we tend to see the world as a little bit evil and a little bit negative, and you always have bad intentions about the other person. But when you connect with each other through play, you unlock so many avenues that I feel like is a little bit almost hard to explain to somebody who doesn't have a passion and a hobby. And so that's why I decided to choose hobbies because I think it's the easiest way to connect with people outside of your culture and outside of your language.
I love that. So, of the hobbies that you've done, what have been some of your like favorite or most like enlightening ones?
Okay, let me think. I would say when it comes to like eye-opening hobbies, I learned capoeira in Brazil. For those who don't know, capoeira is a martial arts slash dance that originated in Salvador, which is like the northeast city of Brazil. And Brazil is a very complex country. There's a lot of political instability. It's very, very culturally, ethnically, and linguistically diverse. You have like the Amazonian tribes. You also have a lot of European settlers in the south, and you have a lot of Africans in the north. And for me, I couldn't really wrap my head around the complexity of Brazil until I started capoeira. So, capoeira originated when, during the Atlantic slave trade, a lot of enslaved Angolans had been brought to the northeast tip of Brazil in Salvador. And so they had developed capoeira, which is a martial arts that's self-defense, but they disguise it with music as a dance so that they weren't punished for practicing self-defense. And so this was originally obviously made for self-defense and for protection, but it's also become such a cultural practice of just music and community and also resistance to, the slave trade. And I think through capoeira and learning about the history of enslaved Africans in Northeast Africa really opened my eyes to just how complex Brazil actually is in a way that, like, if you go to Rio and you go to Carnival, you probably would never be able to access that. And so that was the first hobby where I was like, wow, like I would have never
Mhm.
thought about being curious about this topic had I not picked up this hobby. When it comes to my favorite hobby, I'm gonna have to say bachata. I started learning bachata in Mexico. If you don't know, it's a like a social dance where you have like a lead and a follower, and it's very fun. It's very sweet, and I think I dance myself. But I've always done like individual style dancing, and social dancing was so just like another world for me. I just didn't know anything about it. In my head, I thought there was maybe like salsa and maybe tango, and that was kind of it. But bachata opened my eyes to how many other styles there are. There's jitterbug, swing, tap, bachata, salsa. Like there's so many out there. And I realized like I've been dancing for 5 years, and there's still this entire world that I know nothing about. So bachata's been a lot of fun. I made a lot of friends. It's crazy because you'll be like dancing with someone, and like if you have like that connection, you don't know their name, you don't speak the same language probably, but you're genuinely in love with them for however long that song is. Like it's such an insane connection that you could develop with people. I made so many friends to bachata. A lot of them are also just local friends who have like because we dance have just shown me around and been able to just like really it's always nice having a local friend. The other thing that so I'm right now in the Dominican Republic learning bachata because bachata originates here in the DR. It's something that I really want to talk about in my next video, which I guess I'm teasing here, is a lot of people have told me that they can tell what my personality is like based on the way I dance bachata. And that was like always like interesting for me because I remember the first time someone was like, I can tell you're a really good person. And in my head, I was like, okay, they're just flirting. But a lot of like women and older people and like just like leads that I dance with have always told me that they could tell the spirit of who I am through the way I dance. And this is like something that I think you and we didn't grow up in dance communities and dance like cultures that really prioritize dance. But it's always good to remember
Mhm.
that dance outside of dance is a way to genuinely connect with another person's spirit and with their soul. And that is so interesting because, I I wish I grew up with social dancing because this is just something that, I would have never thought about before had I not picked up bachata.
Absolutely. And I feel like definitely if you've been to like any Latin American countries, like you go to the bars and stuff and everyone is dancing, like whether it's like
Everyone's
salsa or
dancing.
bachata or whatever, like their rendition of it is. And you're just like, I'm always in awe because I'm like, wow, like they are so beautiful. Like watching them dance is just like mesmerizing. And the fact that they can just
Mesmerizing.
like switch between partners and
Mesmerizing.
you're just like, how do you guys all know?
Right, exactly. I'm
You're
like,
like,
do you guys
wait, they
all
just
know
did
the
that so
moves?
beautifully,
And
but
then you
then like
real
you're
like
also doing it beautifully with them too. Like
exactly, exactly that. And I think the best thing is like what I've learned from bachata is even if someone's a bad dancer, that doesn't make the dance a bad dance. Every dance is a good dance if you are willing to see your partner with good eyes. And that's something that's like hard for me to explain in words. But I think by like I've been learning for like 7, 8 months now, and now I'm like I'm starting to get it. There's so much you can learn about yourself and people through just learning new hobbies that you have never picked up before. I really just I think anybody that travels should pick up any local hobby that's developed from there.
absolutely. I feel like if you like do something like that where you're engaging more with the people of the community, then you're gonna get a completely different experience than if you were to just do the tourist sites. And I'm not saying anything like you are obviously a tourist. Like you should absolutely do tourist things in countries because it's like you're there to experience things. But it's also really cool to get to know like
Exactly.
the local people and to actually do things that they do.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like when you're learning these new hobbies, I feel like for me, the first time that I took like a dance class for bachata, I was like very like self-conscious, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess it up. Like, do you ever get those moments where you're just like, oh, I'm totally fucking this up? Like, but
Oh my god, absolutely. Absolutely. So like I think I came in a little bit cockier because I dance, so I came in with a little bit cockier, and a lot of people would compliment. They're like, "Oh wow, you're a great dancer for a beginner." So I had like a little bit of like just like a cockiness to it. And then when you actually go to a social dance, and I'm like, I don't know how to read this person at all. Like, what do you mean this small like cue means something for me, right? And there's also a lot of dance etiquette that I feel like I didn't learn, like I didn't understand. Like, how do you ask someone for a dance? When you do dance with them, how do you like approach it? How long should the dance be? Like, there's a lot of dance etiquette that goes into it. I feel like, for example, in dance, like in social dances, generally the lead will ask the follow for a dance. And for the follow, it's kind of just good etiquette to say yes every time and finish the song with them. And I feel like that
Mm,
also translates to just like the Latin American culture of like men should be direct and ask women out. Women should be receptive to the asking out. Not saying that's like either a good thing or a bad thing, but you can see how, the hobbies that come here also permeate on the hobbies here also permeate into just like a living and breathing culture that exists here as well.
absolutely. That's such a beautiful thing. So, what are some of the other things that you're planning to do later on this year? Like, what are some of your upcoming hobbies?
Ooh, so after this, I'm going to Jamaica to discover, to like really learn about dominoes. Dominoes is like a game. Well, I never knew about this, but you know, I'm talking about the game that they
Yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had never
Yeah, that
heard
sounds
about
so
this game
cool.
until I had watched literally in the Dominican Republic, it's baseball, bachata, and dominoes. And that's just like all their like greatest pastimes. But dominoes is huge in Jamaica as well. So after Dominican Republic, I'm gonna be going to Jamaica to doing a video on dominoes. And then for the second half of the year, I'm gonna do mostly Asia. Trying to explore the stands, the Kyrgyzstans, Kazakhstans, and then eventually I'll be ending my way in China where to visit my family. I have so many hobby ideas over there, but right now I'm excited to just like focus on my bachata and do some dominoes. And that will be my Caribbean time. The Caribbean is such a beautiful, I've really fallen in love with just like the Caribbeans as a whole. It's so special. It's so unique.
Mhm.
And it's a culture like unlike anything I've seen, truly unlike anything. And it's so beautiful.
Absolutely. Every time I go to an island, I'm just like, wow, I'm met with so much love and so much just like
Yeah.
compassion and like I don't know, it's like a warm hug almost. Like the air hugs you, the
It's
people hug you, like it's beautiful.
completely different as well. Even just like the accent and the dialect and the colloquial like words they use are completely different. But then I came to DR and I started saying cabron. And then I learned in here it's like offensive. And I was like, oh my God, why did nobody tell me? Like I was so embarrassed by this. Oh my I was so embarrassed. Because I was like, I've been using cabron for like 2 days. Like this is so embarrassing. The cultural nuances between Spanish speaking countries, insane.
That's also what I was gonna ask is how has it been like since you're learning Spanish and like also going to these countries that speak primarily Spanish, like how has it been between the dialects and everything of just speaking to the local people?
I feel like unfortunately my Spanish level is the same. I just learn how to speak it in different accents. Like my Spanish right now is like a complete mess of just like different accents. I started with obviously Mexican Spanish because I took, I was in LA and then I spent some time in Mexico, but then I also went to Peru and Argentina and Bolivia and now I'm in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. And the Spanish is completely different. Like imagine taking Spanish classes and learning Spanish for years that I get over here and instead of "cómo estás," we were like, "¿Qué lo que? ¿Qué lo que? What, what, what?" And I'm like, "Huh? What do you say?" Like, I feel like the Caribbeans have like gaslit me into thinking I don't speak Spanish. The dialect is completely different.
That is so funny because I feel like that's so real. Like, and I feel like even like when you talk to people who words like Spanish is their first language, they'll even be like, "Oh yeah, if I grew up in Mexico and I go to Spain, like I'm not gonna know what the hell they're saying for like 50% of it." But then it's
Ye-
just like, what do you mean?
Oh my God. No, exactly. Exactly that. And I think what's
But that
funny is
makes
because I have a
sense,
lot
you
of
know?
friends, a lot of my friends in the Caribbeans are always like, oh my God, like Colombian Spanish is so hard to understand. I have no idea what they're saying. And in my head, I'm like, I feel like Colombian Spanish is actually pretty easy because it's more similar to like what we're used to, right? Living in California. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
like my Spanish right now is an absolute. It's a mess of so many different accents right now.
Yeah, but that's the joy of having, the experience of learning it in different places, right?
It is the joy. It is the joy. I actually had someone, I was like asking someone, I was like, hey, what does my Spanish accent sound like I'm from? And I get answers from all over the place. But usually some people have said I have a Chinese accent when I speak Spanish. Some people say I have like a US accent. I've also heard I have a Venezuelan accent and a Mexican accent. I'm like, I feel like you guys are just making things up at this point. So I don't know. Did you speak Spanish by chance?
It's all over the place.
It is.
Very, very little. Very,
Wait,
very
do you
little.
speak Spanish? Like, how much time did you spend in South America?
So it's been like an intermittent amount. So a lot of my travels through South America have been like those like 7 to 10 day trips. So I feel like
Mm,
it hasn't been like long enough, because you're like just barely like going
no,
in.
for sure,
But for
for
the
sure.
most part, on those trips, I've kind of like tried to stay in one city just to like get a little bit more of a good feel for it. That's one of the things that like
Oh, for
being
sure.
in Southern California in the LA area that I'm like, you know what? I definitely need to take some classes and get a tutor because I don't know, I feel very bad. I mean, one thing it's embarrassing to only speak one language. Like I think that's really embarrassing that a lot of Americans like, we only really speak one language. And so I'm like, I really need to like take the time and just dedicate it
I will.
to taking
Mhm.
classes and learning.
And here's the thing, I feel like if you only speak one language, I'm so oh, that's right. I was gonna say that like people who only speak one language, I feel like often underestimate how hard it is to learn another language. I have been learning Spanish for 4 years in high school. Obviously, took a pause through just like college and just like life. And I've been learning pretty immersively for the last like 5 months. And I'm still like not that good. I really think you need to immersively learn for like honestly like 2 years, and that's like immersive. Like I feel like it's a long journey and it's a slow journey, so don't beat yourself up for not being fast at it. It's little by little, but you'll get there.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason that like a lot of people quit languages too is like they're like, man, I'm so embarrassed. And it's like, yeah, because you're basically like a 1-year-old learning how to speak again. Like
Exactly,
you have
like
to
it
imagine
takes
like, oh,
time.
I'm just a child and I'm really learning how to speak.
Exactly, like you're really just a child.
What are one of like the things that you feel like helped like push you into like this journey of like being comfortable like solo traveling and like trying new hobbies and like really just like being new at everything? Like I feel like that takes like a lot of like courage and like from yourself.
It does. Honestly, I think for Europe, I sometimes am so jealous of Europeans because I feel like they just like they have a culture of like letting you take your time to figure things out. I feel like in the US, we have a culture of like constantly feeling behind. And that's something that I really would like.
Mhm.
I'm really jealous of like Europeans all be traveling and just like taking 1 year gap years, and that's so normal. And I don't think 1 year gap years are like that normalized in the US per se. Like it's not that normal.
That is one of the things that I noticed too. That was so crazy.
Exactly, exactly. Like for them, it's just which I am really jealous about that part. But I think like I find the words for this. I think quitting your job and traveling and taking a leap of faith to do the solo travel journey, it's actually not that hard. Like I really don't think it's that hard. And I actually think once you do it, you realize that travel, like it is literally cheaper for me to travel the world and learn new hobbies and not have a job than it is to have a full-time job in the US and sustain life. I feel like once I quit my job, I realized 60% of my pay was honestly to support my job being afloat, whether that was through like buying myself nice things because I had a long day at work and I need to decompress, or buying clothes that I could wear to the workplace, or just like, oh, wow, I had a bad day at work. I'm going to spend extra money, like making myself feel good. Like I realized like literally 60% of my paycheck was going towards my job and making myself feeling better about it. And once you like take away all those things, you realize you like actually didn't need all of it. And I think that's a hard pill for people to grasp. And I'm not saying that's like a truth for everyone, but I think that is a truth for a lot of people. And it was a truth for me. I actually talked to one of my friends. He's a mindset coach, which I feel like that word has a lot of like ugh to it, but he's great. He said that he actually had hired a quitting coach before he quit his job. He had been at the same job for a long time, and he was so scared of quitting because that was just like so hard for him to do because he just didn't know what else was out there. So he hired a coach to help him through it. And he said, you have to trust that you have to trust your future self will catch you on the other end when you jump off the cliff. And a lot of people, we don't believe that our future selves can. But you have to remind yourself, like, I made it this far in life, and everything that has been thrown in my way, I have figured it out, and it has always somehow worked out for me. Why am I still afraid of the future if I have already proven time after time that I've been able to figure it out? And that was really helpful for me to hear, to like remember that like I did not make it this far in life just to still be afraid of the future, right? And it takes a lot of courage. But at the same time, I feel like my personality is very like, fuck it, let's do it. I know I will figure it out. I, I just know. I have this delusional confidence that like I will figure things out no matter what it takes. And here's the thing, unfortunately, it has always worked out for me. I don't know if it's I'm just like lucky or I have like some sort of guardian angel or I'm just privileged and like my like something has come my way. But unfortunately, life has just always somehow worked out and I think something that's really important is the things that you're looking for are always on the other side of fear. They're always over there. It's just, do you have the courage to find out, to like, to find, to find it? And for a lot of people, it's no. And you know what? That's okay. I think that is completely okay. And I don't think traveling the world makes you inherently more worldly and open minded and just better. And I don't think not traveling the world makes you inherently uneducated either. For some people, I think traveling is the greatest way for them to discover who they are. But I don't think it's for everyone. And I would never come on the internet and tell people to go quit their job and travel the world, even though it was the most life changing and most incredible thing I've done with my life. I would never go on the internet and tell people to do that because I don't believe it is for everyone. So yeah, that's my spiel.
No, and I agree, and I think that's such a big part of it, right? Is like we feel like a sense of like security almost, like in these jobs, and it's like how can we like end them and leave this safe feeling for something that's so unknown? And I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people, like not even just quitting to travel, but like quitting to do something that they love or that's something they have passion for.
The thing is, like, I actually like, I can't even say I hated my job and I just wanted to quit and I just like, I hated it so much and like I was willing to do anything. The thing is, I actually liked my job and I really liked my life in LA and I liked my, like, I liked what I had going for me. And I was in no way like, it's so bad here. I might as well just try something new. I think it was more just like, I unfortunately believe I deserve it all. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I have this delusional belief that I deserve
You do.
everything. I have the audacity of a straight white man. Like you can't even begin to fathom. I think I deserve it all. And in my head, I'm like, my life is already like an 8 out of 10. I just kind of want a 10 out of 10. So I did that because I just have this delusional belief
Yeah.
that I deserve the best. And here's the thing, I think there is enough of the pie where everybody can have the best of the best. I really do believe this. I think especially if you're born and raised in the US. I can't say the same about every other country, but I really do think you are willing to ask for the most. You are deserving of it as well.
Hmm.
And I did and I
Absolutely.
asked for it.
I love that. And you're receiving, and I love that for you. It's well deserved. Especially with, yeah, I feel like especially you're out there like actually doing it and you're actually putting yourself out there and really trying and you're doing it for not for like status or like anything else, but you're just doing it for yourself and to learn the cultures and to actually just be like aligned with yourself. So I feel like that's why it's all coming as it should, you know?
It's for the love of the game. I think what I feel like there's another world where like I think traveling also makes you realize like in the US we kind of like I think with individualistic cultures we want to make meaning.
Mhm.
Okay, guess what? We're back. Anyways, with individualistic cultures I was gonna get on my soapbox soon. With individualistic cultures, I think we try to give meaning to our life. And we spend our whole life wondering, like, what is all of this for? We come up with gods and religions and sound bath meditation, like gentrified like practices to put meaning into life. And when you travel, and especially you go to like collectivist culture, then I'm not saying collectivist cultures are perfect because I grew up in China and a lot of it sucked. Like you couldn't be gay. That's like one thing that sucked. But with collectivist cultures, you learn that like the meaning is what you give to it. And what you give to it can be as simple as I like playing soccer with my friends after 6 p.m. from work, and then I come home and I read the Bible and I go to bed. And that's a beautiful life, you know, and that's a chill life. And I think why were we talking about why was I talking about this? But I think the point I think I was trying to make is like I felt this like deep anxiety that I wasn't living up to my potential and I wasn't like living the life like I wasn't giving meaning to the life and I wasn't using my potential to the best of its abilities. And then you start traveling, you realize like this shit's not that deep. Like you could just do whatever you want and you don't actually have to make meaning of your life because you existing and enjoying and loving the people around you and being loved by other people, that's meaning in itself. And that's like, why do you need more? You do not need more. And so now, like, I think I've been posting and I like make content purely out of the love of the game. Like, it has like I literally my friend was just on me. He was like, dude, I love your video. It kind of sucks that the algorithm's not picking it up. And I was like, I literally did not notice the algorithm not picking it up. And I don't care because I have so much fun like writing what I want to write and doing what I want to do and putting it out there. And like, you know, if like one day, if nobody watched anything that I made, would I still make it? I would because it's like out of the love of the game. And I hope that everybody finds something that they do just purely out of the love of the game, where like if it never amounted to the things that they had put all their hopes and dreams into and gave it meaning, like would it still mean something to you? And if it means something to you, that should be enough.
I absolutely agree, and I think that definitely comes through, especially like watching your videos on social media. Is like you can tell that you have a true passion for it, and that you're
Oh,
really just being your authentic self. And that's why I was like, yeah, when she comes on, it's gonna be a hoot because she is funny.
thank you, mamas. I think I'm so funny. And you know what's so hard
Yeah,
is
she's
like
a vibe.
no one in the DR speaks English and nobody knows how funny I am. And sometimes someone will make a joke and I'm like, I have a crazy clapback in English. And you cannot begin to fathom how funny I am. And instead I just have to laugh and go like, ha, see, eso. And I'm like, God, I sound like an idiot. I sound so stupid, but I'm actually so funny in English.
Because it's the way that I would definitely pull out that Google Translate and just to let them know how funny
Yeah,
I am,
I'm
even if
like,
it doesn't
no,
come across the same.
like you don't understand. Like I'm just so funny. Like I just got it like that.
Because I
No,
am
but
the same way.
right? Literally, exactly that. And I remember I was in China and they would ask me about like American politics. And I have so many opinions on like the political situation in the US. And I just could not have the words to describe myself. Like I didn't know how to say
Mhm.
Democrat and Republican. And so I was just saying left and right and left party. And at some point they were like, damn, you Americans know nothing about your own country. And I was so mad. I was sitting in my chair like fuming because I didn't have the words to describe what I wanted to say. And I was so mad. Ugh.
No, that's us doing that. They were like, yeah, y'all don't.
I know, I know. And also it's really funny. I think when you travel, like people have so many opinions about the US politics. Understandably, I completely understand because I think US politics really plays such a global impact. I always do find it funny when I'm traveling and I meet someone that's like, we need a Trump in our country. I always
Mhm.
find that funny. I don't know why. Like I'm not here to tell them what to think and what to say, right? Like, you know, like that's their country, they can make their own opinions. I just think it's really funny when people start bootlicking the US. Maybe that's just yeah.
I mean, yeah, depending on their opinion. Sometimes I'd be like, you know what, you're not wrong. Like, I see where you're coming from, friend.
Yeah, no, no, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I feel like British people have a good pulse on like U.S.
I
politics.
mean,
I don't know
like,
how else to
yeah,
explain it, but yeah,
we did fuck that shit up, you know?
we did,
Well,
we really did.
you know
Ugh,
what? I think it's also eye-opening traveling because then you get to see what you don't see in the US, right? Like, what they don't like really like tell us or show us. Like when you're abroad, it's like, oh
Oh,
shit,
for
like that's
sure.
what the world thinks, that's what the world sees. This is how it actually is like portrayed.
Oh, for sure. I literally had someone ask me, they were like, "Is it true you have to literally you have to bring a gun to a grocery store when you get groceries?" I was dying. I was like, "You cannot be serious. Is that literally what other places portray the US as?" And that also it helps it
Yeah.
reminds me when people are like, "Oh, don't go to that country. It's so unsafe." And then I think about it. I'm like, the way other people talk about LA is like it's so bad, and I'm still alive. So I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know if you've also experienced this, but I'm sure you have being like a solo traveler. I remember when I would tell people preemptively about like my solo trips, and I'd be like, oh, like I'm going to Belize or I'm going to Guatemala or I'm going to these places, and they'd be like, oh my God, you're going alone? Oh my God, you're staying in hostels? Like, oh my God, are you gonna be safe? Are you gonna come back? And you're just like, dog, what do you mean? Like,
That's
yes,
literally that's literally where my
like everything is
username
okay,
comes
I
from. Amy
swear.
is a That's literally where Amy is alive comes from because my friends would always text me. They'd be like, "Are you alive? Are you alive?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I'm alive." And so that's literally where my username came about. But granted, like I don't want to like dismiss like places can be dangerous. You're a solo female traveling. There's cultural context. Like be safe, be secure. But to be honest, how many traveling women actually get killed and go missing every year? I don't know what the stat is. I'm just saying I feel like the number isn't not that high compared to how many of us are doing it.
And I also feel like when people talk about how like unsafe and dangerous like other countries are, I also want them to reflect and take a minute to be like, it's actually very dangerous in America.
It's
Like I
very dangerous in
actually feel
America.
like scared. Like you don't like I don't go walking around in Hollywood or like in LA at like midnight, but like see me in
Right?
Japan, I'm gonna be like, damn, this is great. Like
Yeah,
I'm
exactly. No,
living.
exactly. This is like every country is going to be dangerous. Don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. We also have the privilege of being from like we're like Western tourists, and like unfortunately a lot of people don't mess with like Western tourists because they know there's repercussions. And that's kind of like a privilege
Mhm.
that we get to carry around, knowing that like generally people don't, you know, want to kidnap us. And I know a lot of local women don't have that same privilege. So like, yeah, there is that. Like you are always unfortunately and kind of blessed in some way protected by the fact that you are from the US and you're from like the global north.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a privilege that we have to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, of all your travels that you did before this 6 months, where would you want to go back to like really immerse yourself? Because you said you were saying like you're like, oh, I only spent so much like a week there, so like I was like city hopping every day.
Yeah, that was exhausting. Here's the thing. Truth is, every country I've been to, I want to go back. Like, I didn't really give this place justice. Even if I spent like months there, I'm still like, I want to go back. I think a country that is really top of mind that I want to go see again is Turkey, only because it's such a culturally rich country and I had maybe like 9 days there, and I just feel like 9 days in Turkey is like it's not enough. I had like maybe like 5 days in Istanbul, and if you've been to Istanbul, like there's just so much to do, and it's so culturally rich, and it's on two different continents for one. The other thing is like probably China. I grew up in China. I've been in China for 10 years, and I'm still always amazed by how culturally diverse and how much there is in China. And I'm like, I've lived there for 10 years, and I didn't know about this at all. And so try to like that's why I'm going back and this year as well, where I'm like, I need to see my hometown with a fresh pair of eyes. Um, the next country that I'm just a country I haven't been to, but I'm super excited for is India. One, because the Taj Mahal is the last seven wonders I have not seen yet. And for me, I just want to finish that list. Like I just want like
Yes.
I'm not one to be swayed by like, tourist traps, but that one is one where I'm like, I just want to finish my seven wonders of the world list. Um, so I think those two places, but China and India are so culturally diverse and they're so just like they're so rich. And there's you could spend so much time in those countries. Um, but China is definitely up there in the list.
Absolutely. And I feel like once you like, so I spent 2 weeks in China, just in Beijing and
Oh no.
Shanghai. And just
Oh my
being there, I was
gosh.
like, yeah, I'm definitely coming back. Like this is
Exactly.
crazy. Like for those of us who have never been to China, like when you go to China, you're gonna be like, wow, I have been like bamboozled my whole life. Like everything I thought I knew is just like 20 years behind. Like the things that they do, like it just makes no sense. And it's just like, dang, this is crazy. Like this is great. Like this is a
I'm
great time.
curious. I'm curious as like a foreigner, like what was your stereotype of China and what was like the reality of it?
So like I feel like China was like, you would think like, just like a like there's a lot of factories. Like of course there's like a lot of like really cool like rich history. Like I knew like there would be like very beautiful buildings, like very like things like that. But I did not expect like obviously like from videos and stuff I knew growing up, like I never thought of China as being like this like very big like metropolitan like place where like you have like these amazing like architecture and like everything and the amount of I don't it was just mind blowing to see like the beautiful designs like in America. I feel like all of our buildings look the same. Like we've lost that sense of like, let's make things pretty, right? Like they're
Mm,
like, let's just be efficient. And when you go to China, you're just like, wow, everything is so pretty. Like the lights are pretty, the buildings are unique and pretty, the gardens are pretty. Like
yes.
even like going to the train. Like why is there a light show in the train station? Like this is so cool.
You know what's crazy is like every year I don't go back to China, it's completely different. Like I'm pretty sure my childhood house is like a mall at this point. Like the way that country develops so fast, but it's still just pretty. There is a level of I feel
Hmm.
like in the last like 20 years, and this is like a common downfall of just like industrialization and just like how what happens when a country becomes
Hmm.
industrialized is because it's so rapid, you lose a lot of part of its culture. So I do think in the last like 20 years, we've lost a lot of like traditional Chinese culture. But it's so fun seeing like, you know what riddle what is it in English? Little Red Note? Red Note? You know Red Note? The app?
Little Red.
Have you heard of this? It's I imagine. I was like, she definitely knows what it is. it's like for people who don't know, it's like China's like main social app, social media app. Insanely amazing app, by the way. Like it's like Pinterest meets Instagram meets Facebook messaging app. Like it's a great app to be on. But I'm seeing a lot of like Chinese cultural like fashion pop up again, and
Hmm.
people love wearing like the hanfu, and it's nice seeing China get to a point where they realize, okay, we've industrialized a lot. We have, 5,000 years of uninterrupted history. Let's bring a lot of those cultural practices back and like celebrate being Chinese again. And I'm really excited to see, I guess, that wave of China where it wasn't like, oh, everything in the West is so good. Like I'm really excited to see that
Hmm.
when I go back and visit.
Absolutely. That's one thing I noticed too is I was like, wow, like everything was very everything was I had a great time. Like honestly, if you're thinking about like going to China, like I highly recommend. Even if you're not thinking about going to
Go.
China, like just going there, like
Go.
getting around is so easy. Like literally Alipay is like a godsend of an app. Like whoever designed that, 10 out
Godsend.
of 10. Like honestly, you did your big thing on that one. Like that app is amazing. Like and if
Literally
you don't
that.
know what Alipay is, like I need you to look it up. It's like the most amazing app where it's like you've got it's like a Google Translate, a Google, it's like Uber Eats and Uber it's like everything you want in one little app.
Yeah, like China's development with that stuff. It's incredible. I'm curious if you felt did you feel safe in China?
I felt so safe. I felt so safe.
Yeah,
I never
China's
once felt unsafe and like we would walk around like it was great. Like let me tell you this, friend. We went there and I'm a type B traveler.
me
So
too.
we did not do like crazy research, but like enough to like, I had the apps downloaded and we did enough. I did enough. So we went there, we went to Shanghai for New Year's, thinking that like it was gonna be like a good time. And unfortunately, like last decade, I think it was, there was so many people there for New Year's during one of the shows that they ended up having like a stampede and a few people died, so they no longer do shows on New Year's. Like you literally just have a countdown in the bend. So for anyone thinking of going to Shanghai for New Year's, like it's a fun time, but it's not like what you think it's gonna be.
I see.
So like we're there and there's like hundreds of thousands of people still, right? Like the Bend in Shanghai is like packed. And you have all these like officers and everything like doing street traffic and control and everything. So once everything happens, like everyone starts going home. It's like past midnight. So the trains are done. The trains stop at like what 11, I think. And so, you're trying to get like your ride back home. It was a 3-hour wait time on DD.
My gosh. Oh my god, that would kill me.
Three
That would kill me.
hours. And we were a 2.5-hour walk from the hotel.
That would kill me. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to do the walk. And this is like New Year's, it's like cold.
No. You know what we did? There
Oh,
were people. I hope no one gets in. I mean, don't we don't even know who the people were. There were people that were like they had their own cars, and so they were just like, "Hey, do you want to ride?" And we're like, "Should we do it?" It I wasn't by myself. I was with my significant other. So I was like, "Okay, I'm with a man. Like, how bad could it be?" So we
oh
got in the
yeah.
car and we paid local. We paid some local people to take us back, and we had a great time. Like we were using like the Translate app in the car, and they were playing music, and they took us home. But I was just thinking, I was like, I would never do this in America.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. So I've been hitchhiking my way through Dominican Republic. And I feel like if you say those words out, if I said it to my mom, she would have a panic attack. But I'd be like, what are you doing? I don't know if I would ever hitchhike. Well, I might hitchhike now in the US. Now that I think it, now that I haven't done it, I feel like I might as well do it. But you realize when you travel, you're like, you know what? Like people are like not really evil. Like I don't know what made me think that people are evil, but like or like to be aware of everyone. But like
Yeah.
most people are good. Most people have good intentions. And I'm so glad you guys experienced that. Oh my God. I miss China and I love China. And it actually makes me so happy when people visit China and they're like, wow, it was a great time. In the same way that like US gets a lot of shit and I completely understand. But when someone tells me they visit the US and they thought it was beautiful, it makes me so happy. Like it really makes me so happy that they got to enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, right? Like the US is a very beautiful place. Like it's such a
So
big piece
beautiful.
of land and we have so many different like aspects of it. Like you literally can go to Alaska and be in glaciers or you can go to the south and like be in like the desert and like you can go to mountains. Like we have all of these different places and land types and it's like if you really like it's a very beautiful place. It's just so I feel like the thing that deters a lot of people is it's so hard to get to these places. Like
For sure. For
you
sure.
either have to fly and then drive a bunch. Like there's like if there was a better train system, I feel like maybe like domestic tourism. And honestly, if it wasn't like I remember I looked up to spend a weekend in New York for like something, and it was gonna be like almost $2,000 for a hotel
Oh my
for
gosh.
like
Hell
3 or 4 nights. And I was like,
that's
that's
true.
just why would I ever do that?
Exactly, exactly. But if somebody could like ever like take a car and just drive like on the one in California, it's so beautiful.
That's a beautiful drive.
It's
You know
so
what I really want
beautiful.
to
And I
do? I want to take the
yeah,
train. Have like from
the
San Diego
Amtrak,
to Seattle. I heard that train,
I
yeah,
really
the
wanna do
Amtrak.
that
I've
as
heard that
well.
it's like an amazing ride, but it's
I've
like
heard that too, and I also just wanna take
36
a
hours.
bike so I could just like take it off. I know, but it like you just make it like a long trip. Like I wanna take my bike and I could just go on like bike day trips to like, like certain areas. I think it would be so beautiful as well. But I would love to do an Amtrak around the US at some point.
Absolutely. And it's just so beautiful. I'm biased. I love the Pacific Northwest. I think it's an amazing
Me
place to
too.
visit and see, especially if you like to be outdoors. Like it's just so
Um,
beautiful and green.
it is. It really is. And I really wish like when people come to the US, they're not just like, oh, like I understand why people hate, especially LA specifically. But here's the thing, like I think
Mhm.
every place I have been to, I have in some way found some sort of beauty in it. And in the countries that I
Mhm.
haven't, after deeper questioning, maybe I'll give an example, is like when I first went to Bolivia, like I did not like Bolivia. And I felt like the people were kind of rude, were the kind of like I think compared to like Latin hospitality that we're used to, like they're not very extroverted and social. And I didn't really like Bolivia in that sense. And I kept asking myself, like, why do I not like Bolivia? Like, what is my expectation? Why am I not enjoying it? And then I realized so as I was going on a tour, I went on a walking tour and someone was explaining like in Bolivia, everyone will have a casera. And what a casera is it's basically like your
Mhm.
go-to like cellar. So everyone has like a fruit casera or like a smoothie casera or like a vegetable or meat casera. And it's a relationship that you build over time. And when you guys have that bond, they'll give you something called a yapa, which is like an extra gift as like a thank you for your loyalty. And so
Mhm.
what I did was I started going to the same fruit stand and the same stores, and I kept saying like "Hola, caserita." And after building that relationship with them, they were so nice to me. They were so kind. They would always like have me leaving with like extra fruits and like just extra gifts. And I would bring my friends and they'd be so kind. And then it like
Mhm.
really hit me that like Bolivia is different because it doesn't have as much like African and European influence. It's still a very, very indigenous country. And what that means is their version of hospitality is going to look differently from like the version of hospitality that you and I are used to. And then after that, like I really fell in love with Bolivia because I think it's one of those countries where if you build a relationship with people, people go like 5,000 extra miles for you. And so I do think like when you visit a country and you don't like it, you have to like really probe and ask yourself, what do you not like? And then the more important question is like, do I not like it because I'm bringing my expectations of what tourism should look like to your culture? And I think it's very like the world becomes so much more beautiful when you stop thinking in such a narrow minded way of like just what hospitality and tourism and like extroversion should look like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially, yeah, we definitely bring that level of like, this is what we expect, this is what we're used to. And it's like, especially like traveling abroad, like you have to kind of check that at like the security gates, like going through customs.
Exactly.
Like
Like you
you
have to
can't
just
bring,
like be okay. Like, you know, in Latin America, like nothing is on time. Nothing is on time. And I remember like a lot of my European friends, especially the ones that were like, you know, from Switzerland and from Sweden, they were losing their minds. They're like, this bus said it would get here at 4 and it is 5:30. Granted, an hour and a half, yeah, it's a big deal. But like you just have to like really you gotta check it at the security gate. Like this is like how it is. You gotta roll with the punches. Which is why you cannot travel as a type A. You have to be a type B because nothing will go your way. And if you're gonna lose your mind every time things don't go your way, you're not gonna have a good time.
that is what I try to tell people when they're like, I feel like I'm gonna use this as an example because it's such a big like boom late like the past couple of years, like Japan.
Yeah.
Everyone I know, like I'm guilty. I go back to Japan all the time because I think it's a great country to visit and it's very diverse too. But everyone's like, oh my God, like they'll be like, I made this itinerary, like what do you think? And I'll be like, you're doing too much. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, you're doing
Yeah,
too
doing
much.
too much.
Like you need to cut half of that. Like you cannot do Tokyo Skytree and Shibuya Crossing and three other things in one day. Like that's too
You
much. Like you're not gonna enjoy it. You're gonna be overwhelmed. It's gonna be just you're doing too much.
doing too much. You're doing too much. Especially Tokyo as a place is pretty overwhelming, especially doing like Shibuya and Shinjuku. Like you get into a metro or like a train station in Shinjuku, and you have to like literally hide in a corner because I'm like, oh my god, there's so many people. I don't know where to go. But I think
Yes.
if anyone is ever scared of solo traveling, I highly recommend Japan as like a first country because I think it's like culturally different enough where you will still get a culture shock, but it is still functional enough where you can like get to places and like if you don't speak Japanese, like you'll make it through, right? Like I feel like it's a
hmm
good first place to go solo traveling.
Especially because I feel like it's genuinely like a pretty safe place to go. Like, of course, every
It's
country is
yeah,
gonna have its own problems,
it's
but
pretty
like
safe.
I have never like felt as safe as I have like walking around in the middle of the night in Japan. Like, especially like I'll go to like a bathhouse late at night, and then I'll just be on my way after my nice little bath, and I'm like, wow, this is really great.
Yeah, exactly. Japan is pretty like it's a great place to go like solo travel for a first time.
hmm
Yeah, I'm wondering where's the place you want to travel to?
A place I want to travel to? Well, I'm really looking forward to. I'm supposed to go to India later this year with one of my friends. She's getting married, so she's going home to like get a bunch of her stuff. And she was like, "Oh, do you want to come with me?" And I was like, "Girl, yes, thank you. Thank you for
Ah,
thinking of me because I
oh,
absolutely do want to go. Like, yes."
I love, dude. Us in the West, we're always just like, I just want to go to an Indian wedding. I want to go to an Indian wedding. That's like all we do. I feel like that's all we think about. Like, I just want to go to an Indian wedding so bad, and I'm very guilty of that as well.
Yes, so I want to go to India. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to spending like 2 months just country hopping through Africa. Because I'm like,
Hmm.
I really want to do like Morocco and Egypt and then make my way down to like Nigeria and then do like South Africa and like end it in like Kenya or something. Like,
Girl, you're doing too
really, I
much
just
for
want
two
to take,
months. You're doing too much. That is
yeah,
a big continent for 2 months. I'm
I
gonna give you
know,
your
I know,
advice
but
to what you give to other people in Japan. You gotta cut that in half, girl.
I know, but ideally, I'm not there for 2 months. Ideally, I'm there for like 6.
Okay, okay. I think that that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Like my
Because
good
I
friend
feel like once
Morocco's
I get over there,
here, South
I know.
Africa's down
I was
here.
like, let's go from the north to the very south and just like call it.
But that sounds
No, but I just feel
beautiful.
like once I'm over there, like, why would I want to leave? Like, let me tell you, like, for a long time, my ideal trip was like, man, let me start in like northern Spain and like take the coastal train around and then take the ferry down over to Morocco and then spend some time like down in, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that just be such a fun trip to do?
That would be a fun trip to do. I've met people who have like hitchhike slash like what's the word, road trip from China all the way to South Africa, and I'm just like, how you? I'm so jealous.
That is impressive.
That is impressive, and I am jealous, and I wish nothing but the best for you. Granted, there's a lot of countries in the middle you gotta hop through that I'm a little bit like wary of crossing. I've never been, so you know, I don't,
Mhm.
I can't speak for it. But I guess my stereotyped projection is it is unsafe to cross through.
Yeah, I feel that would be an interesting person to talk to. Like, so how was it? Like,
Yeah, crossing
and then it's
borders,
also
like
like
how was
with
that?
the language barrier too. Oh yeah, crossing borders, like just with some random local, you're like, hey, yeah, I know they're from here. I'm just like some random American. Like, what's up?
Exactly. No, exactly. Like there's like crossing borders is still like it is like it is a political situation, you know? You just don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely, every time.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, so those are some of the places that, and of course, like, I don't know, I feel like I definitely I wanna be one of those people that definitely hits every country. I feel like, Cuba's also another country that I really want to go to. I just
Me
want to
too.
go when it's a little bit better for them. I feel like right now it'd be kind of disingenuous to go because I'm like, you guys are going through like a blockade and, power outages and stuff. Like, why would I come take up your precious resources to just be like,
Yeah.
hey,
I was good at on this trip since Cuba's like right there. I was like, I should go to Cuba, but it's just like it's not the time. Yeah. It's not it's,
it's okay. One day,
yeah.
one day it'll be
One
better
day.
for,
One day. Yeah, one day.
So if you could give like it's kind of like broad, but advice to somebody that was like, yeah, let me get into like traveling or like solo traveling or like what would be advice that you would give somebody?
We could go two ways. One would be like the practical, like, here are like the things you should do. You know, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna go with the mindset way is okay, maybe I'll tell you the story. I have friends that have always said they wanted to travel and they keep putting it off to the next year and then the next year and the year after that because oh like they just got an apartment, they need to renovate it. Oh, like my sister is sick. Like my sister like just got graduated. So basically you have an excuse every year not to go.
Hmm.
And one day you will be dead. And one day we will all be dead. And I think
Yeah.
something that has been really helpful for me is to think about the fact that I will die in excruciating amount of detail. Hang in with me. I know I sound crazy and know it sounds morbid, but you have to always remind yourself that one day you will be gone and everyone else will be gone and everyone you love will be gone. And at that point, it is a little bit too late to do the things you want to do. And so, for anyone that's like, I really want to get into solo traveling, there is no reason to not do it now. If you don't want to do it and you
Hmm.
feel like the internet is pressuring you to do it, that's another thing. Don't listen to anyone on the internet. Traveling is actually not as fun as the internet makes it to seem. And that's something I will stand by. It's actually not really as fun as people make it out to be because it's just like glorified like vacation time, right? But if it is truly something you feel in your bone and you feel like it's calling your name, there is not a single thing that should be stopping you. And I die by that hill.
Yes. I
Actually,
also want to add on to
mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm. Speak your
for
piece.
anyone that's like they have a friend. I feel like because we all have those friends that like want to travel but they don't. Don't ever force somebody else to travel. Like, don't ever
Yeah,
wait on them either. Like, if you have to be like, oh, get your passport so we can go here, don't go with them. Find somebody
exactly.
who wants to go. Don't go with a friend that you have to force because it's
I
not going to be a
agree.
good time.
It's not going to be a good time. Don't wait for anybody, but don't force anybody to go either. Because at the end of the day, like I feel like we have to sometimes this is something I like to visualize. I like to visualize my relationship with myself as two people. So when I go out and eat alone, I think about myself taking me on a date. when I think about traveling, I think about me traveling with another version of me. Like I'm taking myself as a partner to go travel together. When I go to the movies, I frame everything I do with myself as taking myself on a date. And so travel should be also
Yeah.
like that, where you're taking yourself on a little travel trip. It's like a fun girls trip, you know? And I think, why would I want a third person there? Is how I sometimes think about it. I'm like, like do it alone. Do it alone because you're not really alone. You're with yourself. And yourself is good enough. And that relationship is always the number one that you should nurture. And it helps to visualize yourself as another person as well. Um, but yeah, like I feel like once you start solo traveling, I don't need to travel with a person at all. Like if somebody wants to come enjoy me, I'm like, oh my God,
Hmm.
great. We're gonna have so much fun. Like, you know, but if they don't want to go, I'm like, that's none of my business either. Like I'm gonna go either way. And never wait on people. And never wait on a partner either. I've also had friends that waited on their partner, and you know what happened? The partner cheated on them eventually.
Hmm.
So like now you just wait. Now you just waited for this guy. He cheated on you. Like what's the point? Do it alone. Do it scared.
Yeah. And you know what?
And
A partner that really loves you is gonna let you do it alone too.
a partner that
A
really loves
partner
you is
that
that
really loves you is gonna let you do it alone.
exactly because they're not bothered by the fact that you just want to go on a solo trip by yourself because sometimes you just want to do things alone. And they should understand that. And the same way you should also let them go on their solo trip if they want to go on a solo trip. I don't know. Like here,
Absolutely.
here's the thing that I'm also gonna say before we leave off. There is nothing you and me can do to convince a listener that's not ready to do it themselves. Like I feel like oftentimes I get people
Hmm.
asking me advice on like, oh, it's so hard. Like, how do you do it? How do you have the courage? I could never. The truth is I could say my piece, but if you
Hmm.
don't believe you could do it, there is not a damn thing. I can't handhold you through it. Like I just can't. And
Hmm.
nobody can. And the thing is, like, if you need me to convince you to do something that you're too scared to do, I'm gonna be so real. There is nothing I can say that can convince you. So you gotta work through it
Facts.
yourself, and you gotta work through it yourself because I frequently get this question, and I'm just like, I think you're asking me
Oh,
just so
I
you
could
can
imagine.
procrastinate having. Yeah, I feel like sometimes people ask me so they can procrastinate making a decision for themselves because they're hoping I will make a decision for them. I can't decide for you, girl. Like I don't care about you enough to decide for you because it's your life and it's your business, and I don't care, to be completely honest. And nobody cares. Like truthfully, nobody cares about guiding you through a life
Facts.
that you want if you can't even convince yourself that that's what you like, that you can do it. But if that is what you want to do, guess what, girl? It's actually so fucking easy. It is so easy to do what you want if you have the courage to believe in yourself.
Hmm. And take pride, take privilege in the fact that you have privilege with a U.S. passport and being a northerner. Like,
Yes.
use it. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Like if you were born into this
Use your
privilege, like
privilege.
why are you not using it? Like why are you like yeah, exactly. This is like what everyone shits on Jeff Bezos for having enough money to like end poverty but not doing it. I'm like, you also have the privilege to travel and you're not using it either. So like, are you different from Jeff Bezos?
Okay, I want to end it on a really funny note.
Yeah.
If you could pick only one country to live the rest of your life in, but you never had to worry about money, like for some reason you're just financially taken care of, but you can never leave that country, what country are you picking?
What the hell? That's a horrible question. I hate that question. I hate that question so much. I had all the money in the world. Okay, you know what?
Like you never had to work another day. You could just do hobbies every day.
Okay, I'm gonna be so honest. I think I'm gonna say the US. I'm gonna say the US, yeah. Does that hurt me? Yes. But here's the thing, at the end of the day, listen, at the end of the day, the more I travel, the more I also realize this is um and I love it, but it's not home. And the US is also so big. Like that I guess
Mm,
that part also helps. Here's the thing, I love traveling,
true.
but if you banished me into an apartment and you gave me an apartment with a pool with like a gym and I just did like simple living, I would have a great life as well. And I talk to nobody. Like I love traveling, and I love seeing the world, and I love doing cool new things. But I would be so happy with like a simple life, easily. easily. And I feel like the best thing about traveling is you
Mhm.
get to see other people's simple life as well. So if you like said gave me all the money in the world just to stick to one country, I would pick the US. And I would pick some off the grid place and I would just live it out and I would just wake up, tend to my farm, go to the gym, and then read a book and go to bed. Like I would genuinely be so happy with that life as well. And that's how I plan to live after 40.
I love that.
Okay, what's your answer?
40 is your budget. My answer, you know what? Honestly, okay, hear me out. I don't speak Japanese, right? I'm choosing Japan.
Fair. It's a great place to end.
And I'm choosing Japan because yes. So I'm choosing Japan because you have Tokyo. So you have a crazy big city, right? You've got Fukuoka, which is also another big city. You've got the north, so I can go skiing, I can go snowboarding, I can go hang out in the snow. I've got Okinawa, I can go to the beach, I can go have a great, summer in the sun. I have the southern Japan where I can go to all the hot springs. I have so much diversity in a culture that cares about people, that is safe, where the food is good, where it's respectable. Of course, there's, Japan is not, the best. It has its own like things, every country has its own things. But for the most part, I feel like all of my bases, like I have community, I have respectability, I have got good food, and I can have any atmosphere of like I want to be on a beach, I want to be in the snow, I want to be in the mountains. I can do anything like that in this country where I'm also safe and I have food that's, not going to make me sick and I've got
Mm.
free healthcare. Yeah.
Japan food is something else.
Hmm.
Food in Japan is something else. Like,
It's so
uh,
good.
the best Italian food I've had is in Japan.
The way that the Japanese really dive into the food, into their restaurants, and to make it like no matter like what kind of food you're eating there, like it's gonna be good because you know that that person probably went to that country where it originated from and studied it for like 5 years and then brought it back.
Exactly.
Like
Like I've just never had bad food in Japan. And also it's so funny because on Japanese like websites for food, they're so critical. Like anything over a 2.5 star is like good food. Or they'll be like, this is the best restaurant I've ever had. 3 out of 5 stars. Don't understand.
and I
Japan's a
also
great
wonder if
answer.
they like low key do that to like gatekeep. Like, because I would also do that. Like, if I have a great restaurant and I don't want tourists to go and like make that queue 2 hours, I'm I'm gatekeeping.
You
Especially
are
since I know they don't
horrible.
speak Japanese. Like, I would be like,
You
yeah,
are
this restaurant is great. I'm simply giving 1 star because I don't want the foreigners.
I'm dead. I'm dead. You're just ruining your favorite joint. Just cause
No, but I'm gonna visit them. Like, they're gonna know who I am. They're gonna see me on like a weekly basis. I'm gonna make up for what I can,
you're gonna make up you're gonna make up for the dollar amount of money that got lost. You know, that's fair. That's fair. We'll give it to you.
Like, I'm gonna walk in and they're gonna know my order. They're like, oh, it's already ready for you. I'm like, thank you so
Ah,
much. Like,
that's the thing.
take my time.
Miss that. I miss that about the US because I have a few spots that always knew my order. And I do miss being in a place that has my order. I guess I could just develop that anywhere. Yeah, I guess I could just do that anywhere. I don't know why I'm complaining.
But it's different, right? Like when you've been there for a long time and it's like you're like, man, I really know you. Like I know your
Oh,
kids.
for sure.
They're in elementary school now. Like but
Exactly
yeah, that's
that.
probably one of like the downsides to frequently traveling and to being a nomad.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you also chose a country to live in that is like the hardest from English. Japanese, good luck, my girl, my queen. That is good luck. I don't think you know how many people have attempted Japanese and just they didn't make it. But I am rooting for you.
It was like that or China, just because China also has like such great qualities as well, like with everything they've got going on. But I was like, damn, those are both really hard languages.
No, they are both very yeah. I actually think Japanese might be easier than Chinese. Let me think. Yeah, I think it would be easier.
Yeah, I also
Equally
just
hard.
felt like in Japan I could be a little less like inconspicuous. Like if people saw me, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, like whatever." But like definitely like in like China when they see like a Westerner there, they're like, "Whoa, like we're not used to seeing like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they
non-Asian
have
people."
no shame. They have no shame. Yeah, or the
There's no
Japanese
shame.
people, there's like more respect there. In China, they no shit. They talk to you, they take pictures of you, they have no issues doing whatever they want.
Yeah. And I mean, they're not malicious or any by any means. Like nobody ever felt like they were doing it like with malicious intent. It was just more like, oh shoot, like this is like different. Like how cool. Like they were more like
Eh,
interested than like what the fuck are these foreigners, you know?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I feel like that's how I feel in the Dominican Republic, where like it's funny because I'm very tokenized, but I am a little bit tired of it because like they have so many Asian jokes and like the first 10 are funny, but after that I'm a little bit tired right now. I cannot do another Jackie Chan joke. I swear. Like it's cute. I mean, like it's not malicious. It's
No.
not malicious. That's just how they are. Like they call everyone like like it's not malicious. But then at some point I'm like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to entertain you all anymore.
Like I no longer find this funny, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
smile.
exactly. I'm gonna smile through it, but I don't find it funny anymore. I'm not offended. It's just not that funny. That's all it is. Like, be a little bit original with it at least. Come on.
You're like I'm way funnier than you, dog. You're like
No,
I just can't
literally.
find the lyrics.
I can't find the words. Literally, when they call me and think like, "Are you Japanese or Korean?" I'm like, "I'm Chinese." They're like, "No, you're Japanese." I feel like, "Oh, are you from Haiti then?" And that helps get into perspective for them.
So,
I know.
well, thank you so much, Amy, for your time today. It's been such
Oh
a
my
fun time.
god. No, oh my gosh, thank you, and thank you everyone for listening. This is such a good time. Oh my gosh. Also, I haven't spoken English in a long time, so it's really nice being able to speak English.
Yay! Well, I'll definitely be checking in, maybe after your year mark on this, we'll have you back and see all the different and other things that you've learned.
We gotta do that. Oh my god. Thank you again, Elizabeth.
Of course.